Well, hello there, Gundam Maniacs. Welcome to episode 52 of the Gundam Explained podcast. I'm Adam Blue, joined by Steven. Good that he is here again to help me out in all of this. Steven, how's it going?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Another hot day in Texas. We haven't got rain. In fact, yesterday, Steven got a bunch of rain. And I made a joke about him sending it my way. Although I didn't think the weather patterns work that way, but funny enough, this morning we got an alert that rain's coming. We're like, finally. And then it just disappeared. The closer I got to the house, it just disappeared. And
Just fizzled out.
man. Goose is saying I sound funny.
Sound funny.
Yeah, let me do this.
I mean, I knew you look funny, but sound funny's a new one.
Okay, I just did something real quick, so you guys let me know if that sounds better, because I did notice something weird before I started. We were talking about that a second ago. But you guys let
always
me know.
tinkering.
But
Well, yeah, when you said it was a hot day, I thought you were going to say that it's a hot day for Gundam because there was a lot of news that hit the media sphere today. So there's a lot for us to talk about.
Yeah, we're about to get into that. Like, just not only the news, but even the topics that I picked up on. And then real quick, just really cool to see everyone. Ian, Robert, Goose, Jedi, Sayla, Brian, Zanichelli, Lucas Garrett, Neon Wave, Metal Neo. Good to see everyone. Mad Matt, the heavy metal mecha pilot. How can you forget that? Let's see. Yeah, everyone, just so nice to see the happy and friendly people in here. Yeah, so you might have saw the thumbnail, Rumble Raw with a little Sayla, because what we're going to talk about here in a little bit are like good guy Zeons, right? Or if anyone has any good suggestions of in alternate universe timelines where it's supposed to be one side is bad, but there's a goodie in there. Kind of interested in what you guys think about that.
I mean, if you ask me, all the Zeons are good guys. So this might be.
I'm going to talk about that in a second. I like that in fandom, how much people love Zeon. But also, we're going to dive into Patreon questions about favorite mobile suit variants. There's some cool ones there. Let's see, some new information with GBO2, and then we're going to dive into that type of mobile suit. And then that SD Gundam game that's come out on mobile has some new info that's pretty interesting. We're going to look at that. Okay, so what I want to share real quick, other than the whole thing about, subscribe if you haven't, video version, audio podcast version available, there is a Patreon if you want to check that out. There's some behind the scene videos that I share occasionally. That's part of some of the Patreon tiers, as well as the movie night. So July 30th, we're going to watch Cuckoo's Doan's Island together in Discord. So I want to throw that out there if you're interested.
Plus, patrons get to throw questions at us and, kind of dictate what we talk about during the podcast. So there's all kind of benefits out there.
That is actually a good point, because some of the value you get is kind of more of the one-on-one interaction of like, here's some content. And while that's cool value, this is a plug for Steven. Steven's got 3D printed stuff for you to up your Gundam game. So if you want to check out his Patreon, all the links to his stuff is in the description.
Cheers.
Yeah. So, what I wanted to show, just real quick, videos from the past week. That Metal Robot Spirits T1 Hazel Custom, loved that. I loved shooting the photos for that. That was a lot of fun. And then the Benager Lynx Mark II Custom. So this is going to tie into the mobile suit variants, because I had some of the Patreons the patrons we were talking in our supporter chat, and Goose brought up, what's your favorite variant? And I was like, that's actually a really good question, because there's some cool ones out there, and sometimes you'll discover something you didn't know existed, and that's that Benager Lynx Mark II Custom. And then, the Witch from Mercury trailer dropped this morning, and I woke up and was like, hey, I can film a reaction of that real quick. And
with no warning, mind you. It wasn't like this was, we weren't counting down the days till a release trailer. It was just
I was so lucky I had a light morning that and plus this video, it's only 3 minutes long, nearly 4. So it didn't, luckily, with the way I had my process set up, it didn't take a long time. And you know what? Speaking of process, I didn't want to forget, this is, the 52nd episode, which means I have released a podcast for an entire year, and that is crazy to think. Like, When I first did it, it was just pre-recorded, and then I decided to do it live. And let me tell you, that upped the level of stress. But it was fun because so many people are nice and fun to chat to. And then meeting Steven has even further helped to make this so much fun. I mean, I've done a year. I plan to do many more years of this because this has been a wild ride, something I look forward to every day, every week. There's the normal things you look forward to, like, stuff you do with your family on the weekend, going out, doing whatever. But to have like a hobby that I can have a community around and we can all just like chat. I've learned so much about building Gunpla. So this past year has just been amazing. Totally.
Yeah, it's really awesome. You put together not only an amazing show, but an amazing community.
Well, thanks, man. And hey, you've been a big help, part of that. It's always fun hanging out in our Discords, chatting with everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Witch from Mercury, let's talk about that just real quick. That wasn't really a main topic, but that had dropped. So, one of the things is not only was there a trailer that dropped that kind of gave some more information. By the way, the art and animation looks great. But there was a prologue that is at an anime convention, I believe, and it's not really officially made available to the public, but someone recorded it, uploaded it to YouTube. YouTube can make subtitles. And once it has, I guess the video's been in the system long enough, it has auto subtitles, and then you can see, and I don't know how much of it has to do with the uploader, because I have done it in the back end of my videos where it auto creates subtitles. I download them and then upload them. And I know it sounds weird, and then say, auto translate to Japanese, because I'll get requests about a video being in Japanese. So I don't know if someone did that with this video, but it's just the English isn't perfect, but you can get the gist of it.
Yeah.
I want to give you my synopsis real quick. You tell me what you think, Steven. It seems like Gundams are known in this universe and they've caused some destruction. And so people are wary about Gundams, but it looks like either the technology of the Gundams and cybernetics happen to coexist in some way, because there was a lot of almost like cyberpunk vibes with this, how you see people with cybernetics. So I wonder if there's a relation of people with cybernetics and people with Gundams, and if that is where like that special power that we see in a lot of shows come up. The funniest thing was seeing a baby in the Gundam shooting a bunch of enemy mobile suits. But what were your thoughts of that?
No, I mean, I think that sounds that's a fair analysis, and it gives strong IBO vibes with that sort of integrated technology into the pilot and things like that. So, maybe they saw the success of IBO and are kind of borrowing some themes there. So, we'll see.
Yeah, because I haven't seen IBO. In fact, because I'm working on 00. Yeah, let's. I want to see chat if anyone else. Jedi Sailor saying the auto subtitles don't always translate well, so it's not just me. Mad Matt is saying that's why I'm stoked for Witch from Mercury major armored core vibes on this one. Oh, that's a good call out.
Yeah.
Let's see. One other thing I wanted to do real quick. Yeah, I wanted to talk about 00 real quick. I'm on like episode 25, I think, and I really like 00 a whole lot. Like, it surpasses Wing as like, it's not even something that's like campy and fun. It's like, it seems to be seriously good, except for one thing, but I think they'll get to it. And it's the whole, I'm Gundam. Like, that just sometimes comes up. Like, they'll talk about something, there'll be a silence, and he'll go, Gundam. All the time. I love it, actually.
That's one of Setsuna's charms, right?
Yeah, that's true. And so I can't wait to finish it. I love the music. I love the story, because I seem to somehow grasp the story more than I did with Wing, and I like the idea. It is different enough.
00 is definitely a refreshing departure from several of the other AU series that I think, Seed was a lot like trying to capture lightning in a bottle twice, right? They basically were trying to recreate the original series, but for a newer, younger audience. It kind of fell flat. Wing, like you said, they took a lot of different directions, changing, the colonies are the good guys versus the Earth are the bad guys.
Oh yeah.
And there were some things that came out of that. Obviously, Gundam teams are very popular.
Oh yeah.
Very very Power Rangers-esque, which is you get that influence in Double O as well.
Yeah.
They even seem to have color-coded Gundams.
Yeah, I noticed that too. There's I would say in my mind, the green one.
Yep.
The orange one. I will say something though. Like the mobile suits are pretty cool, but none of them are like a highlight. Like I wouldn't go, oh, out of all Gundam, Double O has some of the coolest looking suits. I don't think any of them are really anything exceptional, except for the gold one. That so far that guy showed up and then died, but that suit he had was sick. Have you ever seen a model kit of that?
I can't say I personally have, but I'm sure that some crafty modelers have made a custom out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you that the mecha designs in Double O they lack sort of an iconic flair to them. It's like superhero suits. You kind of look for that iconic Superman S on the chest, and you get that from a lot of the UC designs. You get that from the wing designs, where they have like very ornate chest decorations that really define the entire design of the mobile suit. Some of the Gundams from other series, they're just a little over rendered, I would say, is the proper artistic term for describing them. And so they're not as memorable.
Yeah, that reminds me almost of like the Transformers movie designs, where it was just like busy work, angles, lines, tubing, and there's a general silhouette, but it's weird about, and I think that's cool though. I think it's cool that I discovered a Gundam that I really like the show, and I don't really care about the mobile suits. I find that to be very interesting. Let's see. Okay, Robert is saying he's putting a YouTube link for the Gundam Lilith. I don't know how to say that first battle. I guess that's the Gundam from the new show, and maybe that's something was that from the prologue?
Yes.
Was it with the baby?
Yeah.
Is that what he's referring to? Okay.
Yeah. So, and I believe that's supposed to be like a prototype version of the titular, well, not titular, but the main Gundam, the Aerial Gundam.
Yeah. And then Jedi Sayla is saying that she's surprised Lock-On has a green mobile suit, but his Haro is orange. That's funny because I remember getting confused. I used to think Hallelujah was in the Dynamis, and then I thought Lock-On was in the Curios. Like I got confused at first, and then I figured it out later on. But well, cool. All right. Oh, and Jedi Sayla is all she has some good information that there was a stage production of Double O,
which is so cool.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Evil Dead the musical. I don't know if you guys saw that. I actually saw Evil Dead the musical where they like sprayed blood on us and stuff. It was pretty cool. All right,
it's a good time.
I am going to move on here real quick. All right. Which characters from the Principality of Zeon / Republic of Zeon / Neo Zeon, there might be some others I'm missing, like remnants, but they're part of one or the other, seemed like good characters despite being involved with an organization dropping gas in colonies. So, and the reason I had to qualify that, it's not like the Earth Federation doesn't do bad things. And we can almost blame the Titans for some of the really bad things. But I don't know, Steven, is there anyone that you've thought of that is a goodie? Or do you want to think of that for a second?
Well, like I said, I'm a Zeon guy. So, gassing and dropping colonies is collateral damage for what the good guys are doing. But no, in all seriousness, there are some standout pilots that you end up seeing throughout the war. Some that come to mind are like Yonam Kirks from Unicorn. He was the one in the Zaku sniper in the at the Battle of Torrington.
I don't remember that guy specific. Is he not? Is that just his name, but he's not a main guy in it?
Exactly. I don't even think you really hear his name. He's the one that has the relationship with the pilot of the Shamblo.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah. Yes, that's a good one.
He's not a guy that you generally associate with sort of kicking the puppy, so to speak. He's just one of the guys that's kind of fighting for the Zeon remnants, that's fighting for Zeon independence, what have you. So, he's one of those more honorable Zeon pilots. But I think you have some even better examples in your back pocket, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good that you brought up like the Shamblo, because the pilot of that, there's some of these pilots that have been brainwashed. And and as I get to my next point, just to sound like I'm not breaking things up, people are saying I sound funny, which is interesting. I mean, normally I sound funny anyway. I get that a lot, but I wonder what could be here.
Maybe you are a Gundam.
Okay, so I just muted another possible. Maybe I am a Gundam. Like what you did there. And I just muted something else just to see if Adam of Borg voice. Yeah, guys, let me know if that sounds better. I just all these audio things, I never know. But Ramba Ral was the main one. That's why I put that as the pick. But I'm all good. Great, thanks, guys. But the other thing is, there's the brainwashing. So there's some people that can't help but be bad or do bad things. But then there's the whole thing about people loving Zeon, right? Like, I think we've talked about this when it comes to video games. Like when you play a video game, you were using, I think Skyrim as the example, how like you can go and do bad stuff if you want to. You could be a bad guy, but there's something about me where, I don't know, it's like, I like to pretend with the good guys. So when I watch Gundam, I'm always cheering on the Earth Federation. But it is interesting to see, like when I got into Gundam, how many people love Zeon, love the Zakus, and I'm not saying I don't. It's just kind of a scary kind of love. No, I'm joking. It's all fun. That's part of the imagination, being able to root for a fictional bad guy just because it's cool and not real.
Yeah.
But yeah, if not Ramba Ral, Banana Bob is saying Char was a good person for a little while, although not when we first meet him. He reaches his peak in Zeta Gundam, but falls back down after that. Another answer would, of course, be Bernard Wiseman or the Boys of the Living Dead division. So Bernard is a good one.
Yeah, Bernie's a great example.
Yeah, that's actually probably one of the best. I mean, along with that, and even the way Bernie talks about it to Al also about, because Al's excited about being a pilot and Bernie's trying to explain to him, like, it's not what you think. But with Char, like, that, it's almost like he was cursed from birth. No matter what he tried to do, he was the son of the leader of this movement that changed the Earth sphere. And it's almost like his responsibility, whether that being righteous or not, he eventually had to fall into. And I think that's why he almost seemed like he was making himself purposely vulnerable to Amuro, especially in Char's counterattack, sharing the psycho frame arm, or what was the thing called again? The T?
Yeah, the psycho frame technology. Okay. It was, I guess, the psycho frame samples that they built into the cockpit of the new Gundam.
Yeah, and it's that, and then the way he's kind of like talking with Amuro. It's very interesting with Char. It's almost like he had no choice.
I mean, at one point, he even helps Amuro change a tire.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy if you think about it. Especially, that's what's so cool about Zeta, is seeing Char and Amuro being cool with each other. Yeah, that tire changing thing is an interesting one. Jedi Sailor 79 saying Mineva Zabi makes sense. Bernie, Ramba Ral, Crowley, Haman, Marita Cruz, Cruz Doan, Char had his good guy moments in Zeta, but he ended up relapsing into supervillain. Yeah, exactly. Dazzle Zabi gets honorable mention.
I'm going to throw something at you.
Yeah.
You're a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
Did you watch Kenobi all the way through?
I did.
You did. So tell me, and this is a spoiler for anyone listening out there, you know, do you maybe see some parallels between the character Reva from Kenobi and Char Aznable?
There are, because it's like, I guess from the perspective of working their way up within, hiding kind of their true identity in a way, but working their way up in the ranks to try to take out the person responsible for where they are. Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Revenge is a dish, you know, best served with fries.
Or a mobile suit. I think that's a good. But yeah, so Dazzle Zabi's a good one because I think it was more the origin, if I remember correctly, where they really flesh out his fatherly instincts or the way he is as a father because of his daughter, you know, Minerva. And so it's almost like he had a change of heart in terms of what his real purpose was being out there. And he didn't want his servicemen to die
right
when he was out there. So that's a pretty interesting one.
That is a good pick.
And you know what, that's interesting because didn't the daddy Zabi, why am I forgetting his name?
Degwin,
yeah. He even seemed in a way like he had more of a heart than what Zeon turned into, because I think Giran tried to steer it into like his way, you know?
I think Degwin is a guy that died with a lot of regrets.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, and then Jedi Sailor was saying exactly that in her comment, so that's pretty cool. SS, most Zeon or opposing sides in Gundam seem to be very realistic in that they aren't really evil for the most part. They just have their reasons. But anyway, Norris, Daryl Lorenz, Gato, Bernie Wiseman, Mashmir, Captain Zimmerman, and Marita Cruz. All good ones.
Yeah, Zimmerman's a great one.
Yeah.
Gilboa, basically the whole crew of the Grand Sierra.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all...
Excellent arc, especially in contrast to the sleeves sort of party, and it really kind of separates like people's ideologies, you know, in a way. And
there's something to that that arc that kind of, you know, rhymes with the experiences that Amuro had in the 1 Year War, because what's interesting about Amuro is every time he encounters a Zeon pilot, particularly an ace pilot outside of a mobile suit, they always have, you know, very cordial and civil, you know, exchanges. They're not at each other's throat. They're just two people that happen to be on opposite sides. And I think you hear a lot about that, you know, in, say, the American Civil War, where it's like, we're going to go have our battle, but because we're neighbors and brothers, we're going to sit down and have a drink together after the battle's over. And, you know,
that's so right.
There's very much like a code of conduct, like a code of honor among many of the Federation and Zeon pilots. Obviously, there's some Zeon pilots that don't have that, but I think that the vast majority of them do, at least the ones that Amuro deals with.
That's what it seems like. And yeah, I guess it's the people like pulling the strings sometimes that maybe have the bad intentions. But, you know, what you said reminded me of like the World War I dogfighting, or, you know, like the Red Baron, which I think that's the Red Comet. Actually, some influence, I guess, came from that.
Yeah, for sure.
When those pilots in World War I were dogfighting, that was a new thing at a time. It was almost like a sport. They would shoot someone down, but they wouldn't like aim to like kill them. They would shoot their plane to where the plane had to go land, and then the enemy officer would go land, and they would talk, and they would be like, "That was a good one," and then, you know, they'd go back off, and just, it's almost like they're taking down the weapon without killing the person, being like, "Yep, we got you." I mean, isn't that the most civil way to fight? Like, you're like fighting each other to destroy each other's weapons, but not people.
Yeah.
If that was real, that would be awesome. Let's see. Yeah, so Lucas Garrett, Rumble Raw, his wife, Norris Packard. Yeah, all those, same ones. Yeah, Rumble Raw. Okay, John Candib said Oliver May from MS Igloo. What is really cool about MS Igloo is that whole crew. That whole crew pretty much, you watch it and you almost feel like you're with them. There's even the scene where the colony drops and they're all like shocked that that's happening. They're like, what are we doing? And so that's, if you guys haven't seen MS Igloo, that's a good one, especially if you like Zeon. And then Skyhook with Alma Sterner and crew. That's a good one too. From Code Fairy. All those Code Fairy characters are really cool, actually. Well, cool. Okay, and Lucas Garrett is saying Dozel was haunted by Operation British. So that is, I must have missed that. That might have been part of his in Origin. Maybe they talked about that.
Mm-hmm. Jedi Svala bringing up, the Christmas ceasefire during World War I.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I mean,
that's sad, but all right. I am going to move on. Where was that? Yeah. Okay, so podcast question. What is your favorite mobile suit variation? So Ian Hansen, my favorite mobile suit variant would have to be the Tequila Gundam. Just kidding on that, LOL. Little inside joke with the other supporters. I'd say that the new Gundam FF would have to be mine. I'm really just enjoying the super funnel and the subtle changes made to the suit from the original. On the topic of variants, how would you modify the Mark II? Well, for that first one, that's actually a pretty good one when it comes to variants. I mean, because the new Gundam's cool. So, yeah, that's a variant. Is the High Nu a variant of the new, or is that really just a whole new mobile suit?
I don't know. I mean, how would you... Because, you've got so many different versions of the new. Obviously, you have, like, the double fin funnels. You've got the heavy weapon system, so I guess that's like technically the full armor new Gundam.
And then the mass-produced version.
The mass-produced one.
And when he says, like, how would you modify the Mark II, the one thing, the idea I like is something from, like, the Wing Zero or, I don't know, just, I like binders when they're on a mobile suit. Like, I already like that the Mark II has the way the backpack and the beam sabers work, but on top of that, if there was like some sort of binder system, that would look sick.
Kind of like the Rick DS or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rogue New type. I'd have to say my favorite Gundam type variant is the RX-79 BD-1 Blue Destiny Unit 1. It doesn't have a Gundam head unit, but it's a Gundam in all respects. I love the color, design, weapon loadout, and dangerous exam system. And you know what? I actually have that right here. I wonder how good this camera will do. This is actually a G-frame, and I've had fun detailing it. I just love using the chrome marker and putting the chrome all over the place. But yeah, that's a good one.
Looks good.
G. Norwood, I'm going to play devil's advocate. All 5 original Gundams from Gundam Wing. Technically, they are all variants from Wing Zero, although Zero was never finished. The 5 scientists split the plans up for Zero and built their own versions of Zero, which would make the 5 original Gundams variants. Well, that's pretty insightful. So, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, what he said was true from a certain point of view.
Oh, yeah. Well, mine is, and I have the video. It's that Benager Lynx Mark II. Love it.
Which is very sweet.
What about you? Rebabu?
Well, so I'm gonna throw a curveball at you because most people would say like, oh, it's got to be a Bawu, it's got to be something Zeta related.
Yeah.
Now you know what I think my favorite variant is, and this is kind of really just from a looks and rule of cool factor, is the marine type variant of the Gazaum from Advance of Zeta, which is so cool looking. It's like basically if the Hygog from 0080 and the Gazaum kind of got together and you took parts from each of them and put them together. So it's a transforming mobile armor, operates underwater. It's pretty freaking sweet looking.
I think you showed me that earlier. That's actually a good one. I like those obscure ones. And where did you say that was from again?
It was from an Advance of Zeta manga.
Oh,
and
sweet.
So honestly, I don't know much about the lore of it.
Yeah.
I do know that there are 2 different models. One of them has like a traditional Zegok style head, and the other one has almost like if you remember the Opsilus, the way that it had kind of like a Zaku head just
Oh, yeah.
plugged into the middle of it, there's one that kind of has like the old school style Zaku head plugged into the middle of it. But both of them look identical. Other than that, they both have like these massive wing binder. Well, I guess technically they're like fin binders because it's operating underwater. And they have the multi-hinged arms of the Hygog. So
yeah, that's
very cool mobile suits. I highly recommend checking those out.
Yeah, that's a good one, and that reminds me, I don't have a Hygog in either Robot Spirits or Gunpla form. I've been trying to get the obscure ones that were kind of introduced in the original. But yeah, let's see. From Neon Wave, not sure if each armor of the core Gundam count as variants. If they do, they'd be my faves. But if we're talking about UC Gelgoog Jaeger, or Jaeger, I should say, yeah, that's a good one. That's from 0080.
I think it's in both 80 and 83.
83. Okay. Oh, okay.
So,
yeah,
I mean,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then the core Gundam, yeah, that's pretty cool because the core Gundam, I guess it's part of the Build Divers or something series, I forget, but it's like a out of universe like little Gundam, and then you have all the things you can add onto it. Those are actually pretty cool.
Now, a buddy of mine actually did a very cool Gunpla challenge, which I think might be something fun for you and I to do.
Okay.
The Core Gundam Challenge, which is you take a Core Gundam, which, they're basically like miniature Gundams that have parts that connect to them and, make them a bigger Gundam.
Yeah.
Well, what he did was he took a Core Gundam and then he took a high-grade Wing Gundam and he made a Core Wing Gundam that basically, it's like a tiny Gundam that equips parts of the Wing Zero and becomes the full Wing Gundam.
Okay, yeah, that's something I'd be interested in. If you can get a pic of that, let me know because I'd love to see how we went about that. Yeah, because I'd like to do something like that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Let's see. Luke is scared is saying his favorite variant is the all-white RX-90 Gundam. That was the precursor to the RX-93. It was only seen in a book, never given a manga or anime introduction. I just love the design to it, very sleek. That's cool. I'll have to look that up. Yeah, Neon Wave, Gelgoog Jaeger is from 0080. My Zeon homeboy Shin Matsunaga has his own custom. Very cool. Oh, Robert saying called in waiting. I will probably, if I do take calls, it'll probably be at the end just to keep the flow going here. And then Lucas, Gonna Build Divers, Re-Rise, Adam, check it out. Okay, you can thank me later. Yeah, I can't wait to get to those, but I've heard like watching like Seed first, kind of, there's some stuff from Seed in the Build series or something.
Yeah. I mean, so much of the Build series kind of are winks and nods to tropes and gimmicks that you've seen in previous Gundam series. So you'd be doing yourself a disservice by skipping, the in-universe Gundam stuff and going straight to Build. But there are some really, really sweet designs in Build.
Well, cool. Yeah, I can't wait. Well, awesome then. Thanks to the supporters. Yeah, I do a thing for the Patreon supporters where they have a, like they can bring up questions and then answer them, and I obviously read them on the podcast. So moving on. The GBO2, just some quick news. They've got the Delta Gundam. Now, is the Hyakushiki in this? Or has it not been in this yet? Because I know we have that mass production version. There's a Zero Shiki. Have we ever seen... Is that in GBO2?
The Hyakushiki's in there.
Okay.
It's I want to say it's a raid unit.
Okay.
I have one. I pulled it recently, but I haven't played with it yet. I'm garbage at GBO2, so
it's one of those games that you have to like. It's almost like you have to develop the muscle memory because the actions are so deliberate, and then some people know how to take advantage of that. The Delta Gundam is cool, but here's what we'll do before the next topic. I wanted to dive into the Delta Gundam because check this out. The Delta Gundam was a mobile suit design which was never constructed. Okay? It was never constructed, but it's in GBO2. I mean, I know everyone has new Gundams in GBO2, so obviously they don't follow canon. But I kind of liked how GBO2 kind of has that PMU. You're part of this like private military organization that's how you have these mobile suits and you go out and fight. So sometimes some of the mobile suits they have on there doesn't make sense.
Right.
So it's cool just to be able to take him out in action because if any game is closest representation of piloting a mobile suit, I would say right now it's GBO2. because it is a little slower paced than others. So this is the one, though, that based on the Delta Gundam design, that's what gave us the Hyakushiki. So that's something interesting to know. I think one thing is, like, it has more this one has more angular shoulders than the actual Hyakushiki. There's a little bit of design changes, but not a lot.
No. They basically kind of called it quits halfway through. They were like, oh, we've got a second Zeta Gundam on our hands, but it's too complicated to make it transform, so let's just strip that out and call it good.
Okay, so yes, I think you brought that up to me before. Was this the one that was supposed to transform and they scrapped it?
Yeah, so it does have a Wave Rider mode, which I'm interested to see if it has a Wave Rider mode in GBO2. I assume it does.
Oh, in GBO2, yeah, good call. Because that looks sick. I love ship designs, and that's a pretty cool one.
Yeah.
Let's see. Developed into the Hyakushiki and the Megashiki. I can't say I ever heard of that. What does that look like? Oh, that looks sick. That looks like a Sentinel design. Oh, but build fighters. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a.
But maybe it does. Okay.
Technically.
And then the variants of this is the Delta Gundam 2 and the Delta Plus.
Yeah,
that looks
our boy
sick.
Riddy.
The unit was intended to be piloted by Quattro, and it's red. See, that's sick right there. And then the other one's the Delta Plus. Yeah, familiar with this one. Yeah, you brought up Riddy from Unicorn. So that's cool to see that kind of development flow.
I love tech trees, and
yeah, I do too. I love looking at that. It's weird. I do that with music also. Like if I'm into music, I'm like, where did the genre come from? And then who started this sound? You know, it's a weird rabbit hole. So some other things about it. Oh yeah, we saw that used as the basis for the Delta Plus. 60mm Vulcan gun, beam rifle, shield, beam saver, anti-beam reflector coater. Yeah, it seems to have kind of the basic stuff to this. So, I guess the main takeaway from this mobile suit that's now in GBO2 is the fact that it wasn't really used ever.
Right.
So it's just part of at least it's a way for us to get more familiar with some of the design elements that went into later mobile suits that we know of. So anyway, that's always fun.
And Zeonic Shadow's in chat and says that it does in fact transform in GBO2. So
thanks, Zeonic Shadow. Good to see you. Yeah, if anyone knows, it's him. So that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll check that out. Although lately I have been not doing any of the banners or any of the spins because I'm waiting. I don't know what I'm waiting for. I just want a Hazel, and there's 2 of them. And I did all the free mobile suits this past week, and there was like, you could get 2 on some of the days. Nothing. But oh well.
Brutal.
Let's see. I think that's it for this. Yeah, like I said, not too much about this one, but this is the development timeline that takes us to the Hyakushiki and everything. We were just talking about GBO2, so just a game thing here real quick. So that G Generation game series, it's the turn-based strategy games that have been around for a while. There's a new one coming out that they've announced for mobile. They even have a lot of information about it. But the one thing everyone's always going to be thinking about when it comes to a new Gundam game on mobile, especially a G Generation one, is what is the monetization going to be like? And so they actually addressed this. Let's see. It's somewhere around. Yeah. So where did they... There was some place they said something like, this is a sensitive subject that we have to bring up anyway. That might have been another text, but basically how it works is, I wonder if they must have changed the text here, because they did say something different before, and I think I have it in the Discord, because they were kind of saying like most people are, will always question the gacha aspect of this.
Yeah.
But with it, you will get the following: early access to units already upgraded to a high grade, units that already have skills, a chance to get units with eternal arms. So basically what this is showing us is all the units will be available without paying, or without dumping money into the system to randomly get it.
Right.
So you could potentially still get them. That kind of works like GBO2. And it's just that when you get one that is in the gacha, it might be upgraded, or it might be a specific, I guess, have specific stats to it. So I'd like to see that in practice, when we go in and actually play the game. But I have high hopes.
I mean, it would actually be kind of neat if GBO2 did something similar where, there was two different kinds of tokens. Like you got the free tokens from playing, and then you've got like a paid token, and the paid tokens have a higher chance of giving you like a 3-4 star suit, whereas the free tokens maybe, I don't want to say that they only give you 1 and 2 star suits, but you know what I mean. Like,
yeah,
just to give people a little more bang for their buck. If you're going to make a freemium model, maybe add a little more to the emium side of it, right?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And it's cool because they are, as they're developing this, they even said that they're keeping all territories in mind. And what that makes me believe is, out of Japan is where that kind of gacha thing comes from, and people are fine with it. And maybe they will adjust it overall so it's more appealing to a general audience, because I wonder how much of a barrier that type of reward system is for Westerners, because you don't really see that much in Western developed games. It's more of just the general, like, you need to buy more of this so then you can purchase this so then you can win this. Whereas in the gacha, it's more of, if you're paying, it's in hopes of getting something.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely a difference in culture where, Western audiences definitely expect to get something when they're putting money into something, but the Eastern audiences tend to find the gamification. There's almost like that lottery gambling aspect of it.
Yeah, that's the game itself.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then Neon Wave is saying, or better yet, just sell each MS individually at a fixed price each, which, like, I feel like that is an aspect that needs to be explored even in GBO2. If you just look at the model used with Fortnite, all these skins come out. The difference, though, with like GBO2 and potentially this is that it affects the gameplay, because you could get a suit that has certain gameplay elements to it. Whereas in Fortnite, when you unlock a skin, it's not like a gameplay element. So that's another thing that's interesting, how there's sometimes you're getting gameplay elements, or sometimes you might be restricted from gameplay elements if you're not paying, so
now, to play devil's advocate, say you do unlock a double Zeta in GBO2, you're still only going to be able to use it in 600-point matches. So, like, the benefit of the whole pay-to-win aspect is tempered by the limitations of the game itself. It's not the same as there's other games out there that are pay-to-win where you can get gameplay benefits and you're playing against players who don't have them.
Yeah, that is true. And that's the thing about GBO2 is you can generally then find a suit that can, if you think about the rock, paper, scissors aspect, you can get a suit and be effective with it. So that's cool. Excited about that. I don't know if they even have a release date for this yet.
I haven't seen one.
Yeah, it's just cool that they are this communicative about this. Just the Gundam games in general lately have been, super. They've been transparent about everything. Okay. You know what? That is for that. Let me check something over here real quick. Okay. So the other thing I meant to show off real quick is, I showed that Blue Destiny a second ago. And I was actually hoping to be a little clearer on this this camera. For people you see, it's tempting to do the focus. I was
please focus,
trying to show the details, but there's also, where is it? This one that I did the same thing with. I put silver wherever I could, silver and gold up on the beam sabers. I just love the chrome and gold marker. I'm just putting it wherever I can. And I think for people that want to up their Gunpla game, that's like the next thing to do. Just add the chrome details, because it stands out. Like, I went back to my Origin RX-78 too, And I added like the shoulder guns, the where the elbows are. I added gold. The joints. Even on the gun itself, I added a little bit of the chrome. Um, on the back there, on the
And you've got the budget-friendly
machine.
option. You can just go for the metallic Sharpie and get.
Let me ask you, does that work well? I was curious about that.
I haven't had any complaints. And
Okay.
I would say that the added benefit of doing that is you can go for some of the colored metallic Sharpies.
Oh, that's a good idea.
The Zazabi that I have, rather than using the metallic mono eye sticker, I hit it with the metallic green Sharpie, which gives you the
Oh,
same effect, but it's, painted on as opposed to being a flimsy sticker.
dude.
You can do some cool stuff with some metallic Sharpies.
Okay, because I saw when I was looking to buy the Gundam Marker EX, they're kind of hard to come by and they're kind of expensive if you think about the price versus what you get. And then I saw those Sharpies, but I wasn't sure. But if you were given the go ahead, I need to do that. I need to pick them up. I like the idea of painting those shiny parts that usually with the decals, the stickers, being able to color that in is a really good idea.
Yeah. Now I will say you won't get as fine of a tip, so there's the kind of trade-off there. Is like you're really not going to be able to get if there's like a tiny rivet or bolt that you're trying to hit inside of a spot. You're probably not going to be able to get it without some overspill.
Hey,
but
and with the Sharpies, if you make a mistake, is it easy to clean with just some isopropyl alcohol or lighter fluid?
Just
Or
a little alcohol on a Q-tip, and you can wipe it right off. So.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so Brandon Hayes, good to see you. He's saying, any thoughts on the Witch from Mercury trailer that just dropped? I got mixed feelings. It's not as feminine as I thought it would be, but not groundbreaking either. Yeah, we talked about that a little earlier, and just to say it again real quick, or did I even give my opinion on what I thought? I think I just explained what I saw, but
yeah, you gave a synopsis, but you didn't give a reaction, so to speak.
Yeah, I think it looks cool, and I just after watching as much Double O as I have and like really being impressed with it, I don't know, for some reason I'm like totally excited to see this because I do like the cybernetic stuff, because I like the stuff that reminded me of like Cyberpunk or Blade Runner or like 80s Japanese anime in a way. It was really weird with let's see what the designs of the mobile suits are really cool. I guess there's not too much except that prologue kind of gave a little more information that I thought was interesting. I gotta say it looks cool. I have nothing negative. Or other than that one like mono-eyed domed head looking mobile suit that could be a grunt. I didn't see any other grunt likes. Did you happen to see anything that looked like that?
No, it's really just that one big chunky one that, and it does have like an ace variant with it. But I really do dig those, like, I guess they were funnels, but they were like funnel mines almost. Like they eject from the backpack like a funnel, but then they latch onto the enemy mobile suit and then explode. That's a unique twist.
Yeah, I thought that was cool because even looking at I think either the model kit or the action figure that they have, they're showing more details. It seems like the shield can come apart and be put on or modified in some way. So it seems like there's some built-in gimmicks with the weaponry that I think is pretty cool. That, not only is part of the show, but even the
Now, I was really disappointed because I saw some gimmicks with the aerial Gundam kit that I thought were a throwback to my childhood. You saw how there was like the breastplate parts that it has like kind of option parts where you can put in those kind of neon glow like tech designs, like because it starts to glow in the show. I thought that we were going to get a resurgence of the old rub sign technology from the Transformers toys back in the day. Do you remember those?
Yeah, I think I remember most of that from another toy line, and I forget what it's called, where they're like these little monsters and they had the hologram thing on their chest.
Yeah, and it was like you have to rub them in order to get the logo to show up. They're basically like little mood rings. But of course, as soon as I saw that on that kit, I got on Amazon, and it turns out that there is thermo-reactive paint out there. So of course, my mad scientist butt is going to buy some and maybe make a heat reactive Gundam custom. So if you've got any ideas for what would make a cool,
that would be cool. And with the heat reactiveness, is it like different? Can you choose like the colors that its base and what it can turn into, or?
So it just starts as black and then goes, all the way through the rainbow. So like the hotter it gets,
wow.
It'll go from like a deep blue to like a bright red.
Huh. That's actually pretty cool. That would be a cool way to like, especially if it was already like a black mobile suit or shield, like a way to kind of like make battle damage look like it's appearing or something.
Yeah. Leave it out in the sun for a while and then it starts glowing red.
Let's see. Classic quarter gameplays. I use the Sharpie for the outlines for guidelines. Then I paint in details with airbrush and model paints or acrylic touch-ups with battle damage. But been busy, still got to see Witcher Mercury yet. Didn't get to see it. Okay, that's a good tip with the guidelines with the Sharpie. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
And yeah, Jedi Sayla took the words out of my mouth with Moon Gundam. Big Moon Gundam vibes.
Mood Ring Gundam. That's pretty good. Let's see. Lucas Garrett, perfect. A Barbados type Gundam suit from the Calamity Wars would be good for that idea.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Oh, imagine they did that for Exam or Hades suits. That's a good idea because the I don't know where I put it, but the blue Destiny I came with, it came with a separate head with the red on it for the
right
Exam system. I think that's the one that's Exam. Hades is the Toad Strider or Toad Strider, or which one?
Pale Rider.
Oh, Pale Rider.
I mean, the Toad Strider has it as well, but
okay.
The Pale Rider.
Cool. Thank you. Okay, cool. Well, you know what? I think that just about does it. You know what? If someone wants to jump in the chat, the call and waiting room. Oh, yep, we've got. Okay, so yeah, Steven, I don't know if you want to jump in there real quick because I'll pull in Robert.
Yeah, real quick, I would.
All right, let me pull you in there, and then I always have to mute you. Okay, Robert, I'm going to pull you in. Get ready.
Robert, hey, guys.
What's up, man? See, we can hear you. Fantastic.
Yeah. Fantastic. I'm actually on my PC unit now.
I don't know if oh, no, I think everyone can hear you. Oh, you said you're on your PC?
Yeah. I'm using my webcam for audio.
Okay, good. Well, that's good quality. So
good move. How you doing, buddy?
Been doing great ever since my birthday celebration with you guys. Thank you so much.
That was cool. I really liked how that turned out. How we were just all kind of hanging out and having breakfast. Yeah, that was a good time. Did you have a good rest of the day?
Pretty much, yeah, I did.
Okay.
Now, what I was actually wanting to talk to you guys about.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw my comment in the chat, my last one. It was just before Goose's.
Yeah, what's
the spoilers, folks. So basically, I was able to see multiple videos that were put out of Witch from Mercury.
Uh-huh.
I was able to see how Soletta looked as a little kid. And it's not just her own powers. It's her family's powers.
Was that in the prologue animation that came out?
Yeah.
Okay.
The video I posted the link to was by Gundam Boy.
Okay. But you're saying, so the it seems like there's these powers, which could be that new type trope, but used in this. That's why they're calling them witches. Maybe it's a family that has these powers, and maybe that's how they're able to operate the Gundam.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that'll be pretty interesting. I'm really curious to be just seeing her as a baby. I say baby, toddler, kid. Shoot.
4 years old.
Oh, 4. Okay, thank you. Thank you for having that information. That seemed really cool. And so, yeah, I'm wondering what the ramifications are, because that's probably going to set up that character's backstory for what happens in the future. Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Well, cool, man. Yeah, anything else?
I'm wondering what you guys think of the trailer for the aerial Gundam Gunpla.
Looks cool. Seeing the gimmicks, how it works, the shield and all that. Like, at first, the design didn't really catch my eye, but over time, and while I haven't watched IBO, it reminds me of IBO. Some of the IBO suits I've seen. Steven, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I got big time IBO vibes just from that preview animation. It reminded me of the old Barbados commercials that they used to air like over and over and over on Gundam Info. But I gotta say, looking at all the designs, Ghoul's mobile suit is the one that strikes me. The big chonker.
Is that the one with the hair thing going on? Or is that a different guy?
It just has like a command spike, doesn't it?
Okay, yeah, that one's cool. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that one's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. That they have slim designed and chonky designed mobile suits. Yeah, it reminds me of when that Virtue armor comes off and you see that it's like a skinnier than the Hell, or I don't know. There's some
Nodley.
There you go. Well, cool, Robert. Yeah, thanks for calling in.
Yeah, and one last thing.
Yeah.
Those Gundams that they're putting out in form for Witch from Mercury, they are going to be OP.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, cool,
the
man.
shield itself. It's not just a shield, it's a pack. It is multiple weapons.
Yeah, and I like that because, again, it's not only a gimmick for the toys, or the action figures, sorry, but also for like the show, just kind of cool weaponry. But, all right, well, thanks, Robert. I'll talk to you later. All right, I am gonna bring in. Hey, Goose in Neon Waves in there. I'm going to bring in Goose since I saw that you were in there. I see that you're muted, Goose, so...
I'm here.
What's up, man?
Me on the podcast. What you up to, brother?
How's it going?
Doing all right. How about you, Steven?
Doing well. Good to hear from you.
It's good to hear from you guys. I did step away, so hopefully I didn't miss this. Did you guys notice that the Gundam Eternal is going to have PvP?
Oh, no, I must have overlooked that, but that's actually pretty awesome.
There is a dev video that came out shortly afterwards. I tried to throw it in the text while you guys were talking about it. Yeah. They said that you will have to pay for some. Well, you won't have to pay for suits, but to get them like fully maxed out, the easiest way to do it is to
pay.
Because there's going to be legendary weapons, and they said once you max out a suit, you'll get the cutscenes of them battling. But they also announced that they are going to add PvP to it. So I didn't know what you guys thought about that.
It's pay for cutscenes.
Well, yeah, that's true.
One, the collector in me is then thinking I need to unlock all these cutscenes. But the PvP's cool. Steven or Goose, has there been any other previous generation, SD generation game that had like multiplayer combat versus?
Not to my knowledge.
I don't think so.
Okay. So this is cool then. This is cool that they're adding that in.
And I gotta say, even the preview images that they've shown of the game, the UI looks like massive improvements over Genesis and Crossrays.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's not like they're just porting or slapping a port over to mobile. It's like they've really reconfigured it while retaining that look. Even that Super Robot Wars 30 that came out, which I think is the same developer, looks really good, and I'm seeing some of that in the mobile screenshots. Although I'm trying to find some good ones to share those, but anyway, if I do find someone, I'll throw them in the Discord.
So does this sell you more on wanting to play this on mobile now?
Well, yeah. I mean, all they had to do is tell me that there's the strategy game on mobile and of Gundam, and that got me. But knowing that there's all these other options with it too. I think they'll get more people to play, especially because as the multiplayer.
They also
yeah, go ahead.
Made the other comment was, you know how when you get further in a campaign, they get to be about an hour long.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They said that the campaign missions are going to be about 15 to 20 minutes long.
Oh, okay, that's good. So they're going to keep them short, I guess, minding people that are, I mean, using a mobile phone for that purpose for quick gameplay.
I mean, I'm sure that won't stop people from grinding for hours on end.
Oh, you know, I don't know if mobile games do this anymore, but I remember there's a time where like you get to a point where you can't play anymore, and it would say like come back. Like I hope it doesn't.
Like you have like tickets. It's like, oh, you can only play if you've got like so many tickets. Would you like to buy more?
I hope it doesn't do that.
Going back to that, I think they also said, I'm trying to remember everything they said in the video off the top of my head, but I know they did say that harder missions and special event missions, you will only be able to do them a set amount of times unless you pay more to do it. But they said the actual regular missions, you can go back and play them.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. That's good then. That gives you an option. Hopefully you can still grind that way, but just to do some battling. Well, yeah. Well, thanks, Goose. Yeah, I am actually looking forward. Wait, have you happened to hear a release date for this?
No, they hadn't said a release date yet. Okay. They said this was the first dev video. They said they'd have another one released within a couple weeks to a month.
So what are you thinking? Would this game come out before the end of the year? What do you guys think?
I'm thinking middle of next year.
Middle of next year.
Yeah, probably Q2.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, yeah, thanks a lot, Goose. Thanks for chatting. I'm sure we're going to chat again soon.
All right. I'll let you guys later.
All right. See you. All right. Well, that's cool. I'm going to bring in Neon Wave. Hey, what's going on, Neon Wave?
Hey, how's it going?
It is going. So what's up, man?
Yeah. What's going on? Well, just wanted to actually give my own thoughts about when we were talking about Zeon.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, like the whole talk about like good versus evil in Gundam. Usually, it tends to be more it's not black and white, and that's usually a realistic depiction of war. Because in war, it's never really good versus evil. The only real evil ones, at least as the original Gundam has shown, it's those at the higher ups. So in the case of 0079, it was, of course, the Zabi family.
Yeah, especially Giran.
Yeah, especially him. And the thing is, it's actually reflective of World War II because most of the people who were fighting, they just fought for what they believed in. What they believed in is what they were told. And what they're told is what the higher ups want them to believe. Again, that's what happened in World War II. And and that's a whole other discussion that...
yeah, because who knows if that's currently going on with people in the United States. You know, we're like, hey, go US.
Oh, easy. This isn't that kind of podcast.
No, it's not.
No, but it's crazy because there was like this news article that went out. I try not to pay attention to politics too much anymore because it can be straining on the mind mentally. But there was a guy that was saying, oh, that's weird. It's like I lost Steven for a second. No, you're still here. The NDI and Skype is messing up. Sorry about that. But anyway, there's a guy saying, I guess they were talking about that someone could attempt a coup in another country, and he was saying, oh, they're stupid because coups are easy to do. And it's like, what? It's like, why? It was one of the decision makers in the upper ranks of the American political system that's like, oh, yeah, they're easy to do. And it's like, example?
I participated in several of them.
Yeah. If it didn't work for the Soviet Union back then, it didn't work for, it's not going to work today. But no, but going back to the whole Gundam thing, most of the time it is usually showing that people on both sides are usually decent human beings, because that's how the majority of humans are. We're all, most of us are decent people. But it's just that they're fighting for what they believe in. And what they believe in is what they're told, and the things they're told is what their higher-ups want them to hear. And that's what happens. And when it comes to other shows of Gundam, The ones that are good versus evil, let's ignore them because they're poorly written and they're self-explanatory right there. Although I could give my thoughts on Age in a minute. But I also want to talk about how there's one that showed how both sides are quote-unquote evil, and that's Gundam Seed.
Okay, well, cool. Can't wait to dive into that one.
Yeah, no, because normally war is a battle of ideologies or a battle of resources. When it came to Gundam Seed, it was more of a battle of hate. Because for those, you've seen Seed, right?
No, that's actually one I can't wait to get to after I finish
it's on the watch list.
Okay, so I guess I will not delve too much because that would be spoilers.
Okay.
No, I know what you're talking about, Neon, and I agree with you. I think that it was a fantastic theme that I think was probably clumsily handled.
Yeah, that normally does happen, and Gundam Seed Destiny is a whole other can of worms. Again, I'll be going into Gundam Age, but no, but basically, like in the case of Gundam Seed, it is a battle of hate, and well, I can't say more because I'm going to spoil things. Yeah.
Well, yeah, then I can't wait to check that out. Actually.
Yeah, it's also not the first first Gundam's anime to tackle such a theme of hatred. There was also Turn A Gundam.
Oh, cool! Another one I need to watch.
Yeah,
Turn A is
although
fantastic.
It's not as on the nose as in Seed.
Okay.
That's not really a spoiler. That's just you'll see in the very first episode. As for the other ones where it was a battle of good versus evil, have you seen Age?
Which one?
Gundam Age?
No, I haven't seen that.
Again, I can't really spoil that one either. God damn it.
Well, yeah, I'll get to these all eventually.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, that'll be like podcast episode 152 where we cover baddies of Age.
Wow. Well, cool. Okay, well, cool, man. Yeah, anything else, Neon Wave?
No, I just wanted to go on that because normally, because the best kind of stories where it's a fight of quote unquote good versus evil, there's always going to be shades of gray. That's how you know it's well written, because when it's something is always good versus evil, it's never well written. Cough, cough, Gundam Seed Destiny. Cough, cough, Gundam Age. Cough, cough. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of the storytelling I'm into, especially like Star Wars, it's when they deal with those themes, because it's like you want to be invested in a character, and if someone's like completely evil, like Quest, you're just not going to like them. And then you're just going to like not want to watch Char's Counterattack because you have to deal with Quest.
I would argue that Quest, she is evil because she did certain things, but some would argue that she was just being manipulated, or she just had no idea what the heck she was doing because she was only a 13-year-old kid.
Oh, yeah. Except being raised in the family she was in, obviously having a lot of whatever she wants, entitlement.
Yeah. Entitlement, but also a few other issues, like her dad being, a cheating bastard. Spoilers for those who haven't seen Char's Counterattack.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. But, well, thanks, Neon Wave. I appreciate it, man.
Actually, now that I think about it, she has more in common with Camille from Zeta than I originally thought.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but if you've seen Zeta, well, have you seen Zeta?
The what? I'm sorry?
Have you seen Zeta?
Oh, yeah. Zeta's the best.
So in this point, I can point it out. Camille's dad was also a cheating bastard.
Sorry, a little low. I didn't hear that. I had some background noise.
Was a cheating bastard something about Margarita?
Oh, yeah, Camille's dad. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Man. Thanks for calling in. You always have insightful stuff to share. So.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
See ya.
All right, cool. Yeah, that was some good things to bring up. And then when I was looking in, that like Mad is saying, see, that's what I love about Gundam. It humanizes both sides, and that while yes, both sides are pure evil, there are legitimately good people on both sides just looking for quick end to war. So it's cool that we're all really seeing this, and I think that's what makes, it interesting.
I think ultimately the definition of evil, it's evil is as evil does. To quote the great Forrest Gump. Everyone kind of fights for their own beliefs. Everyone's a hero in their own story, but it's what are the means that you're willing to employ in order to enact your own good?
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's some good themes. I'm glad to hear that things like Seed and some other ones kind of have, because even 00 had a very interesting direction it went. So it's cool to see how Gundam does the, I was going to say good versus bad, but more of one side versus the other. So, but you know what? Anyway, I think that is it for this show. This was fantastic. This was great. Steven, anything else you wanted to add before we get going?
No. Like I said, we're kind of spoiled for Gundam content today. So
yeah, I know. This could have just been a Witch from Mercury podcast, but anyway, yeah, you can check out Steven's stuff. The links are in the description for his channel that I'm on Wednesdays. We talk video game stuff. We go in depth into video game stuff because I'm huge into gaming, and Steven's a developer himself. But also, he has his Patreon. He has some cool stuff there too. But yeah, I guess that's it, man. So everyone, thank you. See y'all later, and have a good night.
Cheers. Have a good night.